and today's video is going to show you why I think this Dodge Charger Hellcat is the best road trip vehicle ever made. Alright, so first a little bit of backstory about why this car ended up on our road trip. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, we decided to take a road trip from LATROBE, Pennsylvania to Los Angeles, California, turn around as soon as we got to LA, and come right back. We took a different route home down through Texas. The reason that's important is because this car was never supposed to be the one that was going to go on that road trip. I was instead going to bring one of my old Porsches. It's a 944, it's a 1985. What ended up happening is because of some preventative maintenance that I was doing, there were some mechanical issues and the car never made it to the starting line, as Marshall loves to point out.
I was the only one to bring their box to the start line. Everybody else wimped out, couldn't get their car fixed in time, whatever.
If you haven't checked out that series of the trip, please make sure you go do that. I say that to tell you that we did not set out on that road trip to make a video about why this is a good road trip car. In fact, I was pretty upset that I ended up having to take this car because I was so excited to take the 944 across the country. But what ended up happening is we came up with 7 reasons why this is the best road trip car, period. So number 1 is the sheer size of this car. Now, I will admit there are cars on the market that are bigger. There are SUVs out there, there's campers, there's also a lot of other sedans that have more trunk space, more cabin space, but I don't think there's really anything that hits all of these things as well as the Charger Hellcat. Compared to what I'm used to driving, this thing is absolutely enormous. We have a really big trunk, as you can tell. It's full of old towels, but even with this crate in here, you could still fit a couple more crates. And John, who's actually filming right now, he rode with me the entire time, and we had this thing completely full. There's a train too.
Here's all we need for now?
Yeah, here's one for you, one of them for us. We have a power.
Okay. Ah!
Of food, clothing. We had no idea how long we were going to be gone. It ended up being, I think, 9 days. So not once did we think, man, I wish I had more space to pack stuff in here. The back seat and the trunk offers ample room for that. Speaking of being huge, it's not just the trunk and the back seat that are big. Inside the car, in the driver's seat and in the passenger seat, we have plenty of room. The entire time, we never really felt crammed. We spent 122 hours in the car straight through, so that's saying something. One of the other reasons I love this car for a road trip is because it is just straight up fast. This car is designed to move very quickly. The reason that's important on a road trip, if you need to overtake some tractor trailers, or you need to make it up a really steep hill in the middle of the Rocky Mountains, or if you just want to have some fun on the straight roads in Utah, this is the car to do it. Of course, under the hood, we've got 707 horsepower, a supercharged 6.4 liter from Dodge, and they absolutely knocked this thing out of the park. The third reason I love this thing on the road trip, believe it or not, is the fuel mileage. And a lot of people probably think I'm crazy when I say that after I just showed you that massive V8 under the hood. But believe it or not, when cruising in this thing, we took I-70 pretty much the whole way out to California. We averaged about 23.5 miles per gallon. If you watched any of our videos of the road trip, we weren't babying the car. We definitely weren't going low speeds. We were on the gas a lot. We were having a lot of fun with it. I was pretty impressed with the fuel economy in this car. And the fourth reason I love this thing is the reliability of the car. Had I ended up bringing my 944, I probably would have had problems the entire way across the country and back. Marshall's Subaru, rest in peace, it had a lot of problems there and back. Now, granted, those are older cars, so the age of this definitely has to do with that, but also I think this car is just built to handle some serious abuse. They designed this car with performance in mind. Because of that, there's a lot of beefier components. The engine is designed to handle a lot of abuse. Even crossing Phoenix and the Arizona desert where it was 120 degrees, the cooling system never missed a beat. We were still averaging 199 degrees whether we were in the top of the Rockies or in the deserts of Nevada and Arizona. In fact, the only time this car concerned me at all, and it really wasn't much of a concern, was on the tail of the Dragon. That was a low speed, high RPM, constant throttle and brakes, and the temperature went up to, I think, 215 or 220 degrees or something like that, but still never got to a point where it was a cause for concern. All right, this next point might sound stupid to those of you that drive normal cars every day. However, most of the vehicles I own do not have cup holders. This car has a bunch of them. We've got a bottle holder here in all of the doors, all 4 of them, so the back passengers can experience somewhere to put their drinks as well, which is such a foreign concept to me. And then we've also got cup holders in the center console, of course. If you're wondering what the heck I'm talking about, I've got a Lamborghini Gallardo, 3 older Porsches, and a 1967 Volkswagen, none of which have cup holders. The only other vehicle I have besides this that has cup holders is my truck. And the sixth reason I believe this car is perfect for a road trip is just the comfort of the car. So the seats themselves, and John can attest to this, are extremely comfortable. As I mentioned earlier, not once did either one of us really feel like we were uncomfortable or crammed, and that's impressive for how long we were in the car. The leather is nice and comfortable. We've got a lot of seat adjustments. I have lumbar support and things like that, which is, I guess, standard on most four-doors nowadays. The infotainment system in this car was pretty good. We've got a navigation screen on there. We can even see the weather and things like that. Quite possibly my favorite part is this car's got a heated steering wheel and heated and cooled seats. And the reason that's important is because one night we were in the Rocky Mountains at I forget how many thousand feet, and it was 20 degrees and snowing. The next night we were in the desert in Arizona and it was 105 degrees. So the fact that this can keep you warm or keep you cool all from the seats is pretty cool. And last but not least, my favorite point about this car being the perfect road trip car is the fact that it is fun. I don't know about you, but if I'm going on a road trip for the purpose of going on a road trip, the idea is to have a good time. That is what we accomplished in this car. We drove 6,000 miles. I'm gonna say it one more time. We didn't get uncomfortable. We didn't get bored. And that to me is the most important thing. And I think that's what made the trip so enjoyable. I think had I done this trip in a car that wasn't this awesome, we wouldn't have had anywhere near as much fun. What I mean by that, because the car is so comfortable, you don't get that sort of driving fatigue that you get. Everybody probably that's watching this has driven a car for hours at a time, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. I get tired on those 6-hour drives too, but I didn't get tired on the 122-hour drive. And the reason for that, me and John discussed a lot after the trip was over, and I think it's because we were constantly entertained. Anytime we got a little bit bored, with a twitch of the right foot, you were having a blast. You're either blowing the tires off the thing or hitting speeds that you don't normally hit. It was just an absolute great time. We could take little side journeys and go do donuts like we did down in Texas. Plus, there's something very satisfying about somebody coming up beside you in a modified Mustang with a loud exhaust, and you get to blow the doors off of them in your family sedan. So I'm sure there's 50 more cars that would be an absolute blast to drive across the country, but I'm telling you, after my experience with this one, I think it would be very difficult to find one that's more fun than this. If you disagree with me, or maybe you've driven another car across the country, please comment, let us know what you took across the country. Maybe you didn't go the whole way across it, maybe you just have a car that you think is the best road trip car in the world. Let us know, we'd love to hear your opinions. Thank you very much for watching, make sure you give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more Hellcat content.